Hello. Hope you're having a wonderful November as we're about to take a look at some figure pre-orders from October. Halloween's not that much of a thing in Australia, and I'm still disappointed about how fast Christmas just takes over everything. Why am I even talking about this? I don't know. Let's look at some figures. I think this might be my third time talking about these Godzilla Nendos, but I really just love this one in particular a lot. I think this Nendo looks really, really good, aside from this robot thing that I don't really care about. But maybe I'll end up picking it up, since I do really like it. I feel like I've complained about this before, but maybe it was a different Gabrielle Dropout figure. That being said, I don't know why this figure exists. It's been a long time since that anime happened, so unless there's been some news, it just seems very, very late to the party. And even then, I don't think it looks very good. Her hair looks really gross, and her head is very, very round. This dog, which could have been the only saving grace, is probably the worst part about this. It looks terrible. And then look at that dog booty. What the hell is that? This does not look good. Ugh. I haven't looked at B-Styles in a while, but this does not give me any more confidence in them. You can have your own opinion about the body, but I think her face just looks really, really weird. It doesn't seem right for Chizuru. This whole thing just looks really off, and I can't pinpoint exactly why. I dislike this pink girl even more. I don't know what's going on with these. Yeah, in my opinion, this ain't it, Chief. I don't like this as much as I think I should like it, since I am a fan of Hanakawa. I just don't really like either of the faces that they've done here, and I think while the concept is okay, I don't think it's that exciting. It just feels like a step down from the really old Good Smile and Ulta ones, but maybe not to the point where I wouldn't buy it, but you kind of need to be in the market where you need both versions of Hanakawa. I think it looks okay, but it could probably be a lot more exciting. Nep Nep. Her face is adorable. That's so cute. All the figures I can remember from this series look good. The transparent coat as well, I think, is a really cool touch. I'm a big fan of that. And I think compositionally for something where she's just standing there, it looks really cool and really impressive. I think in large part due to the character design and all the extra... However, I really don't like that solid white base. It looks so boring. I'm sure they could have done something better. And I think for this price tag, she is running a little bit expensive for what she is. But overall, I think she's pretty solid. Yay, another Onmyoji figure. It's been a little while. This is really cool. What is this, like ramen or something? You're never gonna see a figure like this ever again. I'm sure of it. I really love this liquid effect. I think that looks super nice. Looking a bit closer at the rest of the base, I don't like this orange thing. I think everything in this bowl looks okay, but I feel like it could be more detailed. And the main fella himself, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. He looks pretty good if a bit simple, but there are some hard to see, very subtle patterns, both on his pants and on his shirt here, which kind of gives him a bit more depth than he would otherwise. And makes him a bit less one shade of color. Guess I can't forget about this little chibi lady here. She's pretty cute, but yeah, I have no idea why she's there. Anyway, this is super duper unique. I really like the concept. It may not hit the same highs as some of the other Onmyoji figures, but I think it's definitely still really good. The hell is Selection Project? Is this some idol thing? It looks like some idol thing. These, I don't know, for the price Furyu's putting here, these look kind of bland, right? I'm not seeing a whole lot of shading here or anything that looks particularly special. And these bases, I guess they join into a butterfly, but even then, I don't think it looks very good. The only thing that really captures my attention is the gradient on the hair and these transparent sleeves, which barely matter, and I think it looks kind of weird anyway. And that's the same for both of them. They both have the hair and they both have the sleeves. there's not a whole lot of detail in these character designs to work with. I think it's probably a pass unless these are the only figures that exist for these characters, which may be the case since I've never heard of them. This is definitely a fun one, which combines two of my favorite things. Not My Little Pony, but My Little Pony Bishoujo figures and Miku figures. Kotobukiya and whatever artist they have doing this, they have a really nice style for figures that seems sort of westernized. It's not like anime, but I think it translates into really nice looking figures. It's cool, so you can see Miku compared to one of the other Mikus they've done, and then also Miku and who is this, Pinkie Pie or something? It's a crossover I don't think anyone would have expected, but it's a crossover I appreciate nonetheless. And they also, of course, did a pony for Miku. As is standard with these, they're on the cheaper side. They're not trying to be like the most detailed things, but I think for what you're getting, it looks pretty good, and it's a really fun figure. I don't know if I've ever heard anything good about Square Enix's figures, but this is a scale of Tifa from 7 Remake. And is it just me, or does her face look off? She feels like she's in the uncanny valley where she's too close to being human than a normal anime girl, but not human enough to not look very weird. I don't know, I think it's just the art style for me that I'm not feeling in figure form. But speaking of art styles, Pokemon definitely has a distinct one. In general, I do like these Artifacts J Pokemon figures, even if they may be kind of basic looking like this one. You can see there's not much in the way of shading or detailing here, and it's kind of just a victim of what it is and what it's trying to do. But the Torchic looks nice, this flame effect is nice, and these Pokemon ones are never too expensive. So I give them a pass. I always keep my red on hand on my desk. So I think I'll always be a bit of a sucker for these ones. Okay, here's Fat Company's Roxy. Let's take a look. I think I was clowning on this a bit in the One First recap because I don't really like any of these Roxy figures, but I think Fat Company has done a pretty good job. What I didn't realize before is that she's got this large, like, briefcase thing, and I really like that. And I think especially with this big coat off, it fixes the issue I have where I don't like her color scheme, but then without the coat she looks kind of bare. I still think, like, character design-wise and shading-wise, it's not the most interesting figure, but I think if I had to make a Roxy tier list at this point, this one would probably be number 1. Miku. This is cute. Look at this. Oh, this is Magical Mirage 2021. I like the idea of the underside of the dress being these rainbow roses. I think that's a pretty cool idea. I really would have liked to see this rainbow theme throughout the rest of the figure as well. I think the one place where this falters is the base. It just seems a bit too pastel and diluted yellow pea colored base almost. Just makes it look really off-putting. It does kind of feel like one of the Furyu prize figure Miku's just deluxeified a little bit. Yeah, I don't really think that justifies like a $300 price tag. It's a bit ridiculous. Another one from Furyu. And I think this figure might have gotten a little bit of buzz, considering how unique it's looking. Definitely can't say I've seen anything like it before. So it looks like you're supposed to display it like this, but this upside down girl can also just be rotated right side up, I guess. I appreciate that they're showing the support rod in the prototypes. At least there's not going to be any bait and switch. But I think even with the support rod, the stability looks kind of scary. As for the look of the figure and everything, I'm not really a fan of this, like, coral stuff down here. The colors seem very saturated, and it distracts me from, like, the actual very cool-looking part of the figure. I appreciate what this whole thing's going for, but I am actually very concerned about the long-term structural stability of the whole thing. And for, like, $500, it's pretty steep, really. Would you really pay $250 for each half of this? So personally, I'm a bit on the fence about this, but if you have pre-ordered it, I can understand why, for sure. I really like this guy's scarf. It looks like a blue-colored fruit roll-up. I really like all the little accent colors on this, like, the green and pink are really cool. It gives me, like, mad Promare vibes. I feel like Fairy Tail's been getting a ton of figures recently for some reason. I kind of enjoy this pose. I like how powerful she looks. But since we're here and there's two different colors, I would like to illustrate a point that I like to go on about a lot, which is it's hard to make black stand out on a figure, especially when you're using it for detailing. Looking at her boot here, this black one just looks really, really boring. You can kind of see the detail in there, but for the most part, it's just like one shade of black. If we go over to the color where she's got the red boot, it looks so much better. It just pops. The difference is really night and day. So if you were to get one of these figures, I would definitely pick the red colored version. What is up with Kawakami's face? That does not look right. None of this looks right. Is her waist really supposed to be this thin? She looks like a pencil and her legs look like twigs. Jeez, that face does not look right. Oh lordy, they did that faceplate. I think this faceplate looks more right, but it looks terrifyingly disturbing. I think this faceplate looks a little bit better with this hair, but I'm still not instilled with a lot of confidence in it. This whole figure just seems like oddly stylized. When I think of Persona 5 or Kawakami, this is not what I think of. This one is a no-go from me. I just double checked because I was sure this Lifey looked familiar, and I did cover her in the August Amiami recap. But now they've updated the pictures, and I think the colors especially are looking a lot better. I like this figure to begin with. Now with these improved pictures, I'm liking it even more. Bruh, Tutankhamun Figma. Look at him. I like that. I like that a lot. They've also got the Thinker. I wonder if he comes like this in the box or if you have to pose him like that. These are funny. I think I like these art Figmas the most. They're interesting. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen a new Yoko figure. I just want Gurren Lagann back. Last time I got to talk about Bakugo and Deku's second version of their Artifacts J's, and now it's time for Todoroki. Same as the other ones, this figure is so much better than the first version. I really like what they've done with this. The base especially looks really nice. I love the shading and texturing on that. And he's like standing off the base, really? Like he's lunging off it. It's really, really cool. So I really like this. I think Kotobukiya has done an amazing job. I think they very easily could have just made a second one and phoned it in. But to see them go the extra mile, and to improve the coloring, improve the pose, improve the base, it's just a huge thumbs up for me. I really enjoy them. If you would like to buy Todoroki for yourself, I would recommend CD Japan because I have a affiliate link in the description so you can help support the channel and get your figures for a little bit cheaper than you would on Amiami. An interesting thing with CDJ as well is that they also offer proxy shipping, so you can get things like exclusives or things that are normally out of stock in other places. It will cost you a little bit more, but for Todoroki in particular, you can get him with the Kotobukiya exclusive extra faceplate. Honestly, it doesn't really look that different, but if you want it, there's an option there as well. Oh god, I guess it was inevitable. eStream's take on Kurumi. Now, there's like a billion Kurumi figures, so I think the interesting discussion here is whether it's worth spending 2 times as much, or even more than that, on this one specifically. It's kind of funny that the clock has to sit so far back, but because her dress is so like rounded, right, you can't actually see, but you know you're paying like $100 just because this exists. I feel like it's entirely superfluous. It may as well not be there. I do enjoy this gold ring around her though. I think it looks pretty cool, and it's pretty well integrated into the base as well. So like, I really don't understand why they need this other piece back here. It is what it is, right? Not that huge on the face either, but maybe it's just that angle. She looks a bit too cute and not devilish enough. But overall, I don't think this has a massive edge over some of the other really good looking Kurumis. I think this has to be the most elaborate Kurumi. I'm just not confident to put it above something else when you factor in like the price and quality of what you're getting here. You're kidding. Can you believe that they're actually selling a Prince of Tennis balance ball? I mentioned in the One Fest recap I wasn't huge on this figure. I still kind of stand by that, but seeing more photos of it, I guess I kind of see the appeal, especially like this bird fella in the pocket. That's kind of cute. I think maybe the main issue I have is that her legs look really weird. I feel like her knee is too low. Here is a Magia record figure by Wing. This is a 1/8 scale for 18,000 yen. That's a little bit ridiculous. Is it because it's exclusive? It must be. Anyway, if it was cheaper, maybe I would recommend it. I really like the rainbow dress. I think that's a cool little touch. And I really just like the color scheme in general, with this light green hair contrasting against the black outfit and everything. It's kind of a shame that it's just so expensive. Is this what the character's head is supposed to look like? It looks wrong. Anyway, if you're interested in this, I would be very, very careful, because it is by Beeful, who are notorious for making terrible figures. Which is a shame, since, like, aside from the head, I kind of like this prototype. This one is definitely a wait and see. I wouldn't be jumping to pre-order this, especially for this price. What the hell is this? Senkan Shoujo R? Is this another Battleship Girls thing? Does Kankole and Azulane already have their own Saratogas? This is strange. Oh, when the dress comes off. Exciting. There's one thing I really like about this, but it might be hard to see. That there's speckly dots on this very, very bottom blue layer of the dress. That kind of makes it look like a night sky or something. And I guess her face is nice as well, but otherwise, I don't think I could care less about this figure. Oh lordy, what have they done? Good smile, no. My boy. Why is Rengoku's mouth so pronounced? It's like bold. McDonald's Samurai Man has never looked so ridiculous. This is an original illustration being produced by Union Creative. There's been a lot of Union Creative stuff this month. I think the sculpt looks really stiff. It just doesn't seem very natural. I really don't like the eyes, but I know that's a style that I think some people really like, so some people may be really into this, but it's just not for me at all. Sometimes I think original illustrations can bring something new to the table, but this one just seems pretty boring. Oh boy, another cool looking Arknights figure. We are truly blessed. I like that we're seeing more figures with these more diorama looking bases. I think they're really fun. Look at all the detail they put into the back of this stone thing. No one is ever going to see this. That's a really interesting character design as well. I don't think those are gloves, that's just her hands, but they fade into red. Oh, look at all the little details. Yeah. I don't know how Anygame's quality is. I don't know if I've heard of them. But just looking at the prototype, I think it looks spectacular. If they can deliver what we're seeing here, I think it's going to be a really cool figure. Oh god, here's the ridiculous shooting Doji by QSQ. I don't know why this exists. If you missed the One Fest recap I did recently, QSQ is doing another shooting Doji figure that looks much better than this one. So if you wanted this one for some ungodly reason, I would hold off on your pre-order and just wait for the new one. This just looks ridiculous. I don't understand how they think they're going to sell this one when the other one exists. It looks like she's doing the Thriller dance or something. Is this the main character? I haven't really been keeping up. Her face looks kind of weird. It's very pale, and I think her eyes and eyebrows are very light. And then the inside of her mouth is like red. It just seems like the colors in her face are just really wrong. The rest of the figure I don't have too much of an issue with, other than maybe a lack of shading on the dress. But I think just looking at that face, even from afar, something just seems wrong about it. Is this just how the character looks? I don't know. And then to wrap up this episode, we have a Genshin figure from Apex, who have been really flexing with their Genshin figures previously. This is Ganyu, and I think her pose and everything looks a little less exciting than what we've seen previously from Apex. That's not to say that the figure is not good, since I do like the sculpt and I do like the colors and everything here. I like her little shoes, those are cute. The face may be one of the most striking characteristics because her eyes are very dark and like not normal. Looking back at the other figures Apex has done for this one seems the least impressive. I wish they at least went with like an interesting base or some interesting effect parts or something. Whereas this just seems kind of stock standard, you know, playing it safe a little bit. But overall it seems fine enough. So that's going to do it for October's Amiami recap. don't think there was a lot to get excited about, which is kind of disappointing. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This has been the Ando Experience, and I'll catch ya in the next one. Bye.